After the terrible fires of 1983, many of our best firefighters, our best emergency service personnel left the service. And they left because they thought, did they give their all, did they do their best, did they do enough? And my message today to all of the emergency services personnel, to the CFA, to the DSE, is nobody could have asked for more.
We are facing a very long and difficult fire season. This season in particular, we're facing a lot of change, and we need everybody in CFA to work together to make these changes better for our community.
People who've put their life on the line to protect our state and to protect our property and to protect our lives.
They're always willing to help, always saying, right, you need something, we'll help you, let us know.
I can't imagine how hard it was through that period, but I say to all of you, your state needs you. We want you to stay on. We want the benefit of your experience, your dedication, your commitment and your skill.
As a local resident, we rely on the CFA.
We just appreciate so much that they're willing to do this for the community. It's an unbelievable job they do, attending to everything that's needed, not just fires.
I think the CFA has been built on the fabric of its volunteers.
The volunteers provide for the community a great sense of safety and security.
And there's that certain knowledge that you've got the support.
I think it's a vital piece of local community.
It really is a peace of mind.
The safety of the community is the reason CFA is here.
Without volunteers, that safety and security wouldn't be provided to our communities right throughout Victoria.
The effort and the input, the days, the nights, the cold, the hot that they put into making sure that this organisation is a great one.
It's all about looking after your local community.
Extraordinary courage, self-sacrifice, compassion, determination, the very best of human nature. The very qualities that are the hallmarks of Victoria's volunteer and career firefighters.
The way we need to work, the way we work with our community is vital to our success. As a team, we can succeed if we all do it together. This season in particular, we're facing a lot of change, and we normally would expect a lot of consultation during this period. However, due to the fact that we've got so much change and so many new things to introduce, we want our members, we want our organisation to accept that this change is coming, and we need everybody in CFA to work together to make these changes better for our community. This is a challenge for us. We need to accept that our culture has to adapt to these changes for the benefit of the community and for the benefit of future members and our organisation as a whole. Because these changes, the way we need to work, the way we work with our community, is vital to our success. And as a team, we can succeed if we all do it together.
Some of the key messages that we want our communities to remember this year is that sadly, bushfires can kill. If people choose to stay and actively defend, it involves the risk of death or serious injury. Therefore, people must ensure that they have a personal bushfire survival plan. One of the new products that we're launching this year is our household bushfire online assessment tool that all community members can go online and assess the defendable space around their property. The tool will help people calculate whether their homes are defendable and whether it's appropriate for them to stay and actively defend or if they need to leave early. Some of the features of the tool will be looking at vegetation management, as well as looking at where the property is located, the boundary, and also the slope of the property. It will take people through a series of questions which are intuitive. As part of going through the questions, people will also be asked about whether they are physically and psychologically prepared to stay and actively defend their homes. The Bushfire Survival Kit will assist all of our communities in understanding what they need to do to plan, prepare and respond for bushfire. It contains a wealth of information. Copies will be available from the Victorian Bushfire Information Line. It'll be available for communities to download online. If they live in the top 52 localities that are at risk across the state, they'll get a personal copy to them in the mail.
Township protection plans provide information that allow for informed decision making by fire agencies, emergency services and the general community. This year the township protection plans come in 3 sections. The first section is the community information section, which is freely available to all members of the community and is available by various means such as through the internet, on CFA website, as well as being in hard copy at various locations and also mailed to residents. The second section is for the fire services during fires, that provides information that they can act upon and use during planning and responding to fires. And the third section is the fire prevention section, which gathers information from existing and planned fire prevention works to inform the fire services about fire prevention works in a particular district. This year, 52 high-risk communities have been identified to have township protection plans. Neighbourhood safer places are places of last resort. Not all township protection plans may include a neighbourhood safer place, but if one is identified or a number are identified within the township protection plans, they will be included, and they will be included in the community-based section for all members of the community to know where they are. CFA will make every effort to ensure that its firefighting efforts towards the preservation of life and the protection of life, and neighbourhood safer places are one aspect that we'll consider in our fire plans and our allocation of resources during a wildfire in a district. Whilst we can't guarantee that resources will be at a neighbourhood safer place, they will form part of the overall fire plan and the consideration and the decision making of our fire planners and our incident managers in ensuring that protection of life is paramount.
The new fire danger ratings this year are important for the community to have an understanding of what they could expect if a fire starts on those days. The key fire danger ratings that people need to be aware of are severe, extreme and code red catastrophic.
Field commanders are the eyes and ears of the incident controller, and it's vitally important to ensure that they paint the picture and that picture can be delivered up into the incident management team for planning and also form the basis for information to the community. Any good situation report notifies the IMT of the status of the fire. It also describes what potential that fire might have and any risks to the communities. It may also contain things like damage and losses and any additional information you think may be pertinent to the firefight and operational planning.
It's extremely important that the community receives up-to-date, timely and accurate information about a fire. The 3 new warnings that have been agreed nationally are the lowest level being advice. So that might be information about prescribed burning or other activities that are going on. The second level is watch and act. That means a fire has started somewhere in your area, you need to be prepared to take action. The third level is an emergency warning itself. That means that the fire is imminent and property and people are under threat. The National Emergency Warning System is exactly as it sounds. It's a nationally agreed system for alerting people of imminent danger. It does apply across all hazards, not just bushfire. It's what's called an intrusive warning. That means that people will be phoned either on their landline or on their mobile and be alerted to a dangerous situation.
The experiences of last fire season showed us that we had issues with both the general public and CFA members accessing traffic management points, causing consternation and some issues around those traffic management points for both Victoria Police and incident management personnel. The review of those traffic management guidelines from previous seasons will enable greater flexibility and will result in less hassle for members of both the CFA and the general public trying to access fire-affected areas. It's intended that for this fire season, Victoria Police will provide additional liaison officers to incident control centres to work with incident controllers in determining the levels of access required through traffic management points. We'll be introducing a number of access levels into the traffic management point guidelines. There'll be 4 levels of access, beginning with restricted access only to emergency service personnel and vehicles involved in firefighting operations, through to allowing different levels of access for support personnel, essential services, and through to community members accessing their homes in the fire-affected areas. Wristbands were part of that management process, and all the different personnel trying to access through traffic management points were provided with a wristband via Victoria Police, indicating their level of access to the fire and as a way of tracking who is able to go in and out of fire-affected areas. To allow CFA members in private vehicles access through traffic management points for this fire season, we're looking at trialling some alternatives, including using your CFA helmet as an identification, or where provided, potentially CFA ID cards that will allow you to then identify yourself as a CFA member and access a traffic management point. With the changes pending for traffic management points and the guidelines that will soon be available, it'll allow greater flexibility and also provide a safer working environment for all emergency service organisations, including Victoria Police and those involved in incident management of large-scale incidents of fires, etc., including the CFA and DSE.
There's been a lot of work done with the media in the past around CFA's role on fire grounds and accommodating media's access to fire grounds, and they perform a really important role in that regard, both in terms of informing the community about the situation and then getting more important preparedness messages out. We've developed an accreditation program which involves them being aware of the dangers on the fire grounds, and that involves getting the CFA Media Accreditation Pass. It's important that people are aware that the validity is on the bottom there, and all media that are gaining access to the fire grounds have that with them at all times. What we've had to do is develop some media badges, and these are to be on media uniforms at all times. The front left pocket, the right shoulder, and the larger panel to be displayed across the shoulders. This is to make sure that we're aware who's on the fire ground at all times, and if it is a media representative, that we're aware they're there and they're in a safe position.
Radio discipline has always been a critical part of CFA communications. We need to ensure that we adhere to the communications plan. That will ensure that information can go up from the fire ground into the incident management team, and messages relevant to the safety of firefighters can come down the other way. We need to make ourselves aware of the communications plans and be disciplined this fire season to ensure that we stick to it. Our fireground personnel need to understand the importance of information flow up to the incident management team and their critical link to ensure that we get appropriate messages out to our community. To ensure that there is continued information flow into the IMT, there's been a number of situation officers trained across the state, and the training of fire behaviour analysts, which can be put into our incident management team to bolster the planning section and ensure that operational planning takes us to a new level. The incident shift plan was utilised last fire season. Part of that shift plan is a feedback form which is handed in at the end of a fireground commander's shift. We need to ensure that that's completed and fed back into the incident management team, and that can form an integral part of future planning.
The fuel management project is an expansion of our old road and rail fire management project. It aims to look at private land management and how we look after vegetation on private land, in particular larger bush blocks. The objectives of the project are to ensure that brigades that are undertaking works on roadsides and rail corridors do it in a safe manner, and also that they comply with the occupational health and safety legislative requirements. Fuel management facilitators have undertaken training in land management, prescribed burning awareness, fuel assessment management, vegetation management legislation, municipal fire prevention planning, and implementing traffic management plans. The fuel management project is a fantastic project for brigades, groups and areas. It will allow all of the consents and permit type processes to be taken away, so brigades don't have that administrative burden. The fuel management facilitators will be organising training for those wishing to have training in controlling traffic with a stop-slow bat. Fuel management facilitators will liaise with road authorities and other stakeholder agencies to ensure that the works that are undertaken on road and rail corridors are done strategically and within the municipal fire prevention planning process. This project will support brigades who choose to be involved in fuel management activities. Please contact your local fuel management facilitator based in areas for further information and assistance.
For all of our brigade members this year, we're going to have available a brigade kit to assist them in delivering key messages to our communities. It will give you vital resources, frequently asked questions, and lots of locally available information that will be relevant for you, so you can be very well informed and will not create extra work, but will hopefully assist you in doing your essential duty to keeping Victoria safe.